All right, what is going on, Haunt Nation? It's your boy Ant, and this is our first review of the 2025 Haunt season, and it is for Pure Terror Scream Park in Monroe, New York. Now, I went on Friday the 19th. It was their opening night. Slightly discounted tickets. I think they were 45 instead of like the next night was 50. So nothing great there as far as the discount goes, but I could fit it into my schedule, so I decided that's where we were going to go. Have not been there for a few years. Last time we were there, didn't give them the best review, and I got a lot of hate mail, which is fine. Bring all the hate mail. I'll address it all individually. I don't care. Anyhow, onwards and upwards. So, Pure Terror Scream Park. They call themselves a Scream Park. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to hard disagree with that. Scream Park to me is somewhere like Field of Screams or Shocktoberfest, or even like Lehigh Valley Scream Park, right? Where you have like a central area where everyone can hang out. There's a bonfire maybe, or there's food, there's concessions, there's games, there's merchandise, all that sort of stuff. And then you can go to your individual haunts, or if it were only one haunt, you could start your haunt from there, right? This is not that. This is, you get online, you go through, merch and all that stuff is at the end, and then it's time to go home. So there's nowhere to meet and congregate and everything like that. It's not really a Scream Park. So it's me nitpicking a little bit, but I'm gonna nitpick. You're gonna call yourself a Scream Park, you should be a Scream Park. Their claim to fame is that they are the world's longest haunted house, and scariest. Scariest is subjective. By no means do I think this place is the scariest, not even close. Not that I'm a great litmus for scary, but I've been places that I think would be more scary, that have more intense scenes and things that people would find more disturbing. So scariest, whatever. Everybody's gonna say that, right? Every band's the premier band, every place is the best restaurant, right? We're used to that bullshit. As far as Guinness goes, I'd say it's a bit of a gimmick. Who am I to go against the Guinness people? But I'll get into it as I get into the review. So I've done this twice already. This is the third time that I'm going to try to run through it. I'm going to try to run through it kind of quick because the last two times have been really long. It was a long haunt, so it does take a little while to get through it. However, without giving anything away, right? They have free parking. We love free parking. That's great. When I got there, it was opening night. I was trying to get there for 7. I got there 7:30. They open at 7. The main lot was already full. They had us in an overflow lot, which is about a quarter mile away. It's a bit of a walk, and you're going to walk in the streets. Not the most convenient place. There is a way to get from the exit of their Scream Park down straight to the overflow parking, which you only find out when you leave. Would be nice if there was a way to go that way, but you leave from there Monster Midway, and it shouldn't be called the Monster Midway. It should be called the Monster End Way, the Monster End of the fucking road. It's not in the middle of anything. It's not a midway. Like I said, it's not a Scream Park. It's just the area at the end where they have most of their concessions and t-shirt sales and lots of photo ops. Anyway, we'll get to that again in a few. Let's start it out. The line, and by line I don't mean like the amount of people I was waiting in line with. I mean the distance from the entrance to the park to where they scan your ticket and you actually start, I swear, is about as long as the haunt itself. It is a really long line. Maybe shorter if you get a VIP pass. They did have a VIP section. If you look at the photos that are up on the Instagram page, there is a VIP area which had a metal detector and a general admission. We're general. We went to the general. We being me, not that those are pronouns of mine, or, just saying Haunt Nation is, me, but we're a we, because we're a family. We all love each other. We love you guys. Anyhow. So yeah, the distance from the front until you actually get to the metal detectors for general admission is far. Once you get there, then there's a ticket booth past that, uh, which was mind-boggling to me because you're supposed to have tickets already, as far as I knew. Uh, Woman scanned. I actually got a real physical ticket, which is a really cool thing. I really appreciate that. It's a great keepsake if you don't go to a lot of haunts. If it's your first haunt, maybe first date with a significant other or somebody that you're interested in, that could be a cool thing to have, a cool souvenir, cool keepsake. I just think it's cool anyway. In the day of everything's digital and I have nothing to show for it, it's kind of cool. Anyhow, I digress. You start out in the crypt and they put you in, cattle pens. They let people in about groups of somewhere between 5 and 8. I was lucky enough to be in the front of my group, being alone. I just happened to be next in line and I got to be at the head of my group. They are spacing the groups, or at least they were on the opening night, and it was a busy night with about a minute of lead time between when they open the gate and let the group through and then they open the next gate. So a minute of lead time is a pretty decent amount of time in a busy haunt. Definitely better than the 15 to 30 seconds most places give you. Not as great as the 2 minutes some other places give you, but as you guys know, it really depends who's in front of you and who's behind you, right? If they're Scooby-Doo walking, even if they got 2 minutes, you're going to be on top of them in a minute. And if the people behind you are Usain Bolting it, they're going to be up your ass before you make it past the third turn. All right, that said, the haunt itself has 10 different parts, right? Crypt, the Resurrection Cemetery, Bedlam Asylum, Psycho Circus, Panic Attack Extreme, Desecration, Scapegoat Grace High School, Legends of Horror, Pumpkin Alley, and then to the monster Midway. In the other reviews, I spent a bit more time going over all of them. I'm gonna condense it because, like I said, I have no faith that Facebook's gonna let me put this review up past a certain point, and those reviews were running like 30 minutes. If at some point, which is a consideration, we do the video and we also do a separate podcast, I will go into further detail on the podcast. They will be longer. They will be more in depth. You're just not going to be able to see it. I know. God bless. You don't get to see this. But you will be able to listen to it. Anyhow, they had live actors. They had a lot of mannequin type standing props. And the places, for the most part, look like what they should look like. They did not have, I saw one animatronic, at least one animatronic that was working, which was just a clown and Jack in the Box. That never popped, but he was turning the wheel for the Jack in the Box. No other animatronics that were working. Everything was standing mannequins, which were very cool. Some of them very lifelike, really good looking stuff, some okay looking stuff. But there was a lot of light and sound effects, strobe light effects, but nothing that was moving except for the live actors. The live actors, let's get to them. The costuming was good and appropriate for all of their sections. My only gripe is most of them had Halloween mask type, stuff on. No real prosthetics. Maybe in the asylum was more makeup and prosthetics, or in the high school. But most of them were Halloween mask type prosthetics, and you get a bit of the muffled, when they're like, like, oh great, I know you're wearing a Halloween mask because I can't hear what the fuck you just said. So anyway, they run you through the crypt, which is a vampire themed crypt, then through Resurrection Cemetery, which is you go outside. Right, most of the rest of them, except for Bedlam Cemetery, are all in Resurrection Cemetery. Again, I'm trying to rush, sorry, are all inside. The Resurrection Cemetery is when you come out of the crypt. You're in the cemetery until you get to the asylum. I didn't even realize that was a thing. To me, it's just a path between the haunted houses, right? And there's a lot of that. And there is no one queuing you at the beginning of each haunted house. You're just kind of on a fenced-in path, walking until you get to the next section. And that's how I think they get away with being the longest haunt, because they just have these separate haunts which are connected by a path with there's no stopping them, there's no one to stop you, to cue you, to put you in the new house. You just kind of walk at your own pace through everything. That said, aside from the cemetery, all the other paths are basically really dead space. There's no one haunting them. There's nothing really going on the paths, um, at least not when I went. There are some props here and there, especially as you get closer to the next haunt, but kind of a lot of dead space. Bedlam Asylum was like an asylum with asylum escapees. Psycho Circus was, as you would think, evil clowns and circus themed. Panic Attack Extreme was like an extreme blackout kind of thing where it's, light deprivation, sensory deprivation, a lot of loud noise. You can't see where you're going. One of those things you should really enjoy. Desecration was a church that was basically taken over by demons, which was kind of cool. Scapegrace High School missed the mark, in my opinion. It kind of went between killer kids and oppressive faculty. The kids didn't look like high school kids. They all looked like small, like 8th grade type kids, 7th grade, 6th grade, like, 10-year-old kids. They didn't look like high schoolers. Kind of missed the mark for me. Legends of Horror is exactly what you'd expect. We had Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Jesus, I can't even remember, Ghostface, Art the Clown, which I'm glad to see, being a new icon. It's glad to see people are actually integrating him. Freddy Krueger. Freddy had no glove, which is fucking mind-boggling to me. My biggest gripe with Legends of Horror is a lot of the backgrounds in it kind of seemed thrown together, and they didn't really reflect the movies that they were supposed to be representing, right? The Art the Clown part was pretty cool. That kind of got the thing right. Michael Myers kind of sort of got it right. It was a house, when we got to the Friday the 13th one, it was more like a camping trip, like weird, like I don't know. It just didn't look right. It looked like it was thrown together, honestly. After that, we had the Pumpkin Alley, which was a complete waste of space. It's just a bunch of fake carved pumpkins with different carvings on them. Some of them were horror related, some of them were not horror related. And I mean, these are the same fake carved pumpkins we've seen in a bunch of different places. To me, that should have been something that you could see, line them up on the line on the way towards the first haunt. I know why they're doing it, to make their haunt longer, to make it a part of the haunt, to keep their longest haunt, whatever. At the end, again, we hit the Monster Midway. Plenty of places to take photo ops with some very big standees, 8 to 10 feet tall, lots of different cubicles, so you could take pictures with your friends or by yourself in front of them. Some food concessions. The only bathrooms there are porta potties at the beginning, on the beginning line, and before you get into the first haunt, and then again at the very end in the Monster Midway. No porta potties anywhere to stop during the haunt, so if you have to go before. A lot of us are used to having, in between houses or whatever, there might be a porta potty. I'm guessing they didn't put those there because you don't put porta potties inside a haunt, and that might disqualify them from having the longest haunt, right? Other than that, it was a fairly decent experience. I had a couple run-ins with human beings that were not anything to do with the haunt itself, the haunt proper. It was kind of disappointing not to see any working, or I don't know if they had any. There were a few things that looked like they could have been animatronic, but they weren't animating. So, they're just big props at that point, right? Also, another thing that was a little bit disappointing for me was in the Psycho Circus. They normally have the tunnel that rotates, the disorienting tunnel with the bridge. It was there. The tunnel wasn't moving. The tunnel wasn't lit up. It was just a bridge in a circular tunnel. Why? I don't know. Was it not working? Is it broken? Is it just something they're not doing? Other than that, it was a pretty decent evening. I'm not going to gripe about it too much. I enjoyed myself. it's not going to get the highest accolades for me, and it's not going to get my highest recommendation by any means. But that said, we're at the end of this very rushed review. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, right? I got free parking, overflow parking, a shitty walk to the haunt. We got costumes, animatronics, set pieces. Most of the sets were appropriate, well done, not bad at all. Not movie quality, a lot of them, but by no means, terrible. Anyway, that said, since we're at the end, I'm going to go ahead and give Pure Terror Scream Park in Monroe, New York for the 2025 season a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I was leaning towards a 7 to 7.5. I went with the 7.5. I think that's fair. If what I said sounds like it should be a 7 to you, take the 7. If you think it sounds like it should be an 8, it's not an 8. It's not an 8. Period. End of fucking story. 7.5 is generous, on the generous side of what they deserve and being a little generous. It's definitely not any better than that. 7 to 7.5, I'm going to go with a 7.5. So again, Pure Terror Scream Park, Monroe, New York, 7.5 for the 2025 season. We're going to get as many done as we can this year, and hopefully some new ones. And until the next one, see you.